Hey guys, I'm Matthew Horn. I'm here today to talk to you guys about the short story, a political realistic fiction called One of These Days by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. In the story, the unnamed mayor fulfills the archetypal role of the villain, connecting to the universal theme of freedom versus governing rules. Through the villainous actions of the mayor, Marquez suggests that political leaders often exploit their power, and without compassion, the common person suffers. The story begins in the dentist's office. The dentist's son comes to tell the dentist the mayor's outside waiting to have his tooth pulled. For some unknown reason, the dentist sends his son away, only to have the son return a minute later saying the mayor's threatening him. Quote, "He says if you don't take out his tooth, he'll shoot you." End quote. The plain diction in the mayor's threat is straightforward and commanding, showing the inevitability of violence for disobeying the government leader's desire. The threat being reported through the dentist's son further shows how manipulative the mayor is, even from a distance. The cowardliness and force behind this statement is extreme, as the mayor will literally kill over such a little thing as a toothache. In this way, the toothache takes on the form of a symbol for rebellion against the oppressing government rules. The little pain in the back of the tooth being a thorn in the side of the big, powerful leader. Right as the dentist is finally going to pull the mayor's tooth without anesthesia, the dentist reveals the reason for his upcoming forceful action. Quote, "Now you'll pay for our 20 dead men." The mayor felt the crunch of bones in his jaw. This moment is climactic, for the dentist is finally reclaiming autonomy and getting a small amount of revenge. The mayor's role has been reversed, from powerful leader who can execute orders to a suffering patient who must endure the whims of the other, as he once did. The visceral image of crunch of bones shows how much the violence has come back onto the mayor. The dentist gets revenge for the 20 dead men who we assume died unfairly for a political cause. Although the dentist's rebellion is short-lived, he restores a bit of his freedom and noble dignity in this one moment. Unfortunately, the 20 dead men were never able to. So, how valuable is our freedom? Marquez convinces us that violence and oppression must be resisted by any means necessary in order to preserve the free human spirit. To express is the best. Let's get ready for my world issue. Governments like the mayor's exist throughout the world. When he equates himself with his town, admitting that he controls all aspects of the government and the life of the people, Marquez is commenting on a world issue, not developing a mere fiction. Many governments do have completely unchecked power to limit the freedoms of the people. In the story, the mayor of the government could kill and take what he needed from the common person. One does not need look very hard to see a similar issue in many of the world governments today. Take a recent New York Times article from December 2017. The title is, "Using Billions in Government Cash, Mexico Controls the News Media," end quote, by Azam Ahmed. This article gives many examples of the over-controlling media, defeating people's freedoms to hear an uncensored, free press. In Mexico, the media is effectively run by the government because of all the money that the government pays to advertise and control the flow of information. That means radio, TV, and newspapers are funded by the government, and therefore you will not hear anything critical of the government or its leaders, or even this policy. In different situations where journalists do get bold, like the mayor did in Marquez's story, there are life-threatening consequences. When journalists decide to research and publish stories detailing minor infrastructure problems or major government atrocities, the stories are pulled by the media's advertisers, that is, the government itself. The censorship happens at federal and local levels. One reporter notes, quote, "If a professional reporter wants to cover the dirty elements of what is happening in the country today, neither the government nor private companies will give them a penny," end quote. This is indirect censorship through economic means. By withholding money, the government can enforce their ideas and prevent critical discourse. Ideas and freedoms can be bought. Much of the world has this issue, but the amount spent in Mexico is much greater than in other nations. With this much control, can freedom really flourish? Is democracy legitimate if the government advertises itself to you and hides the truth? One statistic from the article stood out to me. Quote, 68% of journalists in Mexico said they censored themselves, not only to avoid being killed, but also because of pressure from advertisers and the impact of the company's bottom line. End quote. Not only avoid being killed, the murder of the dentist's 20 dead friends is not hyperbole. Reporters can be killed, and so rather than write the truth, they write what they know will be published, both keeping themselves alive and paid. In this way, the government's interference has limited freedom greatly. The story One of These Days is not just a story about a sad past, but it has relevance to our present, as in the story from Mexico. And the story also holds a great warning about our future. Thank you for your time and attention.